I have made almost $5 million from monetizing my personal brand, and I like to make videos like this to take you behind the scenes to show you exactly how I've done it, all the mistakes that I've made, and everything in between. Right now, a lot of my focus is on LinkedIn and monetizing that platform. So today, I'm going to literally walk you through my top posts on LinkedIn. We'll go through one to three of them. We'll see how much time it takes, but we'll go through my top posts. I'll break down exactly the exact framework that I use for these, how I use them, how I think about using them, so that you could just copy all of my strategies and win on LinkedIn as well. Why would I do something like this? Because I rest in and I believe that there's enough out there for us to all win. Me telling you how I'm winning will not stop me from winning in the future. It will only help someone else out there win. So with that, let's get into it. These behind the scene videos though too, I always like to say I got this idea from another creator, but the reason why I'm doing this behind the scenes tell-all style video is because one, I want to look back on this in 5 years. I did a video, it was funny, a couple months ago, talking about how I made my first 10,000 followers on LinkedIn, or how I got my first 10,000 followers. And it's cool to see that video. One, because I actually took it this year. We're now almost at 50,000 followers. So it's cool to see how much we've grown. It's also cool to see like what I was thinking about at that time. Second, I obviously want to help you on your journey. We only work with around 30 folks at a time, and so I can't help everyone. My mission in this world is to help people, and so through these videos, it helps me help more people. Third, talent acquisition. I'm in a huge growth mode right now, scale mode, and I'm looking to hire and invest a lot into team, and so I hope sharing how I think about business, how I think about brand, how we're building, helps me maybe acquire some more talent. And then lastly, make some more friends. I sit in this office all day. So with that said, let's get into my top posts. All right, so I have my assistant pull these posts every 90 or so days. So you'll also see that this was last updated in May, but this first one is still my number one top post. I actually think it's around 10 million impressions now, which actually goes into how organic LinkedIn can be. A lot of people don't talk a lot about this, but LinkedIn is very similar to TikTok For You page. If I log on TikTok or Instagram, I can see posts from June, May, right? LinkedIn is improving its algorithm where things are happening like that as well. So although this top post that I'm about to walk you through was actually posted in February, people still see this post. Every day people are commenting on this post. And so it acts like this evergreen piece of content similar to like a YouTube video that continues to still bring in leads, awareness, and drives a lot of traffic to my page. So with that said, let's get into this one. So as you can see, this post during the time of this screenshot had 8 million impressions, 167,000 likes, 5,000 comments, and over 1,000 plus shares. I know that's not pictured here, but just trust me on that. This is obviously really good impressions and really good organic growth for any platform, but it is especially good for LinkedIn, right? Especially good. With that said, one, I want to make some call outs. There is a video that I did breaking down this entire post. I think the day I posted it, before I even knew it was going to go this viral, I broke down this post, how I wrote it and everything like that. So you can go find that video somewhere. It was one of my earlier videos around February. But in this video, I just want to talk about like my thought process behind this stuff, right? And just take you behind the scenes with this. So you can see this is the first two lines that you even see in this post. The reason why I like my assistant to come in here and screenshot this for me as well is because when I'm training our team, right, I like for them to see the first two lines before see more. And so I should also call this out. The reason that I even have this doc and the reason that my assistant does this every 90 days is because our team uses docs like these to help improve the writing that they do for our clients. So we work with clients, we do all their ghostwriting for them on LinkedIn. I am a player and participant in the field, which is our advantage in this space. Not a lot of people can say we own an agency and we actually dominate on LinkedIn. And so we can say that. And so I like to test a lot of new things on my account, and then our team can learn from that, and then they implement it in our client accounts, right? And so anyways, with the screenshot, what I like for our team to study is the first two lines before they click see more, right? Because this, my friend, is what you have to optimize for. This is where I spend 80%, probably 70 to 80% of my time when it comes to writing my posts. When I sit down to write my posts, I usually have the thought process, I have the transformation, which I'll get to in a second. But 80% of my time, once I actually write out the post, I just study the first 2 lines and usually the photo that's attached to it, right? And so this post, as you can see, 12 years ago, this dance almost cost her reputation. Last night at the Super Bowl, it made her a legend, right? And it's a photo, I know you can't see it here, but it's a photo of Serena Williams doing the crip walk. Now, this line, these 2 lines, and if you don't take anything else from this video, I need you to hear this. These 2 lines, especially paired with that photo of Serena Williams, elicit some sort of curiosity in the viewer or in the reader's mind, right? All our viewers or readers, I'm saying viewers and readers because this exists whether you're creating video, long form, short form, written content, it doesn't matter. Because all viewers or consumers, we can use that word, is doing is just scrolling. All we're doing when we're on our phone is scrolling. And what we're looking for is something that is interesting enough that we stop, right? We aren't going like scroll, stop, let's see, not scroll, stop. Like we're literally scrolling and then we stop when something interests us. What do we usually stop on? If it's not from posts of people we know, right? If I see my best friend post, I'm just gonna stop because that's my best friend, right? Or a colleague or something, I'm just gonna stop. Outside of that, I stop on things that hook me in. And people use this term hook so loosely, and I want to break down really what I do a lot in LinkedIn. I'm not saying this is the only way, but I'm saying this is what I do. But one of the number one things that I do is I like to lead with one of the 4 to 5 C's. What you will see me doing a lot is leaning into curiosity. I want the person that is just scrolling through on their lunch break or while they're, just doom scrolling, I want them to see my 2 lines paired up with the photo and have enough curiosity, pique enough of their interest that they click see more, right? Because here's the thing, my friend, the human brain, it likes to complete stories, right? And so when I have these first 2 lines paired with the Serena Williams, all the reader is thinking is like, what is this person talking about, right? 12 years ago, this cost her reputation. Last night, it made her a legend. And it's like a funny picture of Serena Williams. Everybody's like, what are you saying, right? Even if you saw the performance, so I posted this the day after the Super Bowl, right? Which is why I know it was in February. But even if you saw the performance or anything, it was like, what are you talking about, right? And so this hook had embedded enough curiosity, right? Or I got the reader in enough curiosity that they wanted to click show more. LinkedIn, just like any other platform, these platforms want you to stay or want their users to stay on their platform as long as possible. And so if we think about this, everyone always asks me about the algorithm and all this stuff. Guys, it's simple. The game is simple. If we understand the business that these social media sites are in, then we can understand the algorithm. It's nothing fancy, and don't let any coach or creator tell you anything differently. If you put yourself in the shoes of the LinkedIn CEO, the Facebook CEO, YouTube CEO, what are all these people? What is the business? What is the business of LinkedIn? We don't pay for LinkedIn. We don't pay for YouTube. We don't pay for Facebook, right? How do they make money? They make money from ads, right? And so if I can understand the business model and I can understand, well, they want to keep users on their platform so that they can show them more ads, more companies can spend more dollars with them on those ads, right? And that's how they make money. They can't make money if no one's on their platform. And so they are incentivized, these algorithms or these platforms, they are incentivized to feed their end user content that they would care about, content that would make them stay on the platform, right? And so a good signal of this, and this isn't hard to understand, a good signal of this that LinkedIn would be like, yo, Casey put out a post. So many people are clicking see more on Casey's post. Casey's post is long as heck, right? People are staying on Casey's post for 2 minutes, which is a pretty long time, whatever it is. Let me show Casey's post to more people because clearly it's working and clearly it's getting people to stay on this platform an extra 2 minutes. So let me help Casey. If we can understand that game, y'all, this exists on any platform. If we can understand that, then we can help ourselves or help the system help us, right? People ask me this all the time, like, should I make 10-minute long videos on TikTok or Instagram? I'm like, yes, if you can keep somebody's interest for that long. If you can't, then no. But if you can keep somebody's interest for 10 minutes on TikTok, heck yeah, TikTok is going to share that with more people. Because it's like, dang, you kept somebody on my platform for 10 minutes, right? Okay. Now that I've blabbed, I really want y'all to understand the principles here. It's so much less about copying what I do, because if you copy this, it's not going to work from you. right? This is why I love these behind the scene videos. Everybody's always trying to copy the output, but y'all don't copy the inputs, right? Now, frankly, I haven't shared a lot of this, so you can't copy this, but now we're sharing it, so now you can copy it, right? The principles here is what I need you to copy and what I need you to understand. You need to understand these algorithms will work with you when you give it good content. How can you give it good content? You can have really good hooks to start off, right? Something that would allow people to, or force people to want to click see more because they're just so curious. And then they have a good story that they actually stay on it, right? For a minute, 2 minutes, however long it takes them to read. And the last thing that I always talk about is to have some level of transformation, right? And so this goes into my triple S method. I get them to stop. We talked a lot about this. The reason I will always continue to talk about this is because if you do not get somebody to stop and click see more, the rest of this does not matter. None of this matters. And so what I need you to focus on right now is understanding and looking at your own post and saying, am I getting people to stop? If somebody was just on their lunch break, they don't know who I am, is this, or these 2 lines paired up with this photo or not, with video or not, is this enough to get somebody to click see more? If not, go back to the drawing board, right? After we establish that, then I look at my story, right? You can see this is very easy to read. It is strategic, and why this is so easy to read. It's so easy for our minds to scan this. It is a story, but there is no filler words. I always tell people all the time, each word that I write on LinkedIn or any platform, social media platform with words, each word needs to serve a purpose. There's no filler words. I don't like to use words like maybe or possibly, right? I don't like those words either, but definitely no filler words, right? And so this is also a place where you can use AI. Once you have your post, tell AI, hey, I don't want any filler words. Every word in this post needs to serve a purpose. Because if it doesn't, people will get lost, people will get jaded, people will get bored, and they will swipe. Our intent, once we get somebody to stop, my friend, is what? We then need to earn their right to stay. And so that is when we need to think about a story, and we need to format it in a way that's easy for it to sink in with folks, and make it interesting enough that they would stay, right? So stop, I get them to stop with these first two lines in the photo. I like to, again, lean on curiosity. I want somebody to be curious enough to click see more. I then get them to stay because I format this in a way that's easy to read and digest. It's also generally, my writing is at a 3rd or 4th grade reading level. You can use an app like Hemingway to check your reading level before you even publish it. So I recommend that. I do that with most of my posts, I should say. And there's no filler words. Every word here serves a purpose. The last takeaway here is that there is a transformation. There's a transformation. So you can tell I told a story about what happens. I gave some stats. And then right along here where it says, here's the truth, right? There's a takeaway for the reader. And this, my friend, is the part that most people miss. Most people will just post a post, just state what they need to state, and then click post, right? There's really nothing in it sometimes for the viewer or for the reader, except, okay, you told me this cool story, right? Which, again, might work for some things. But the other metric that I just talked about, the second metric, the most important metric, I first talked about how long somebody stays on your post, right? On some platforms, they call this like the view duration. Instagram, YouTube, they focus a lot on how long somebody viewed your content. LinkedIn, they don't show us these analytics, but I'm sure they're optimized in the same way, how long somebody stays on your post, right? Outside of that being the number one metric, not likes, not comments, I hate to tell it to you, it's the view duration, how long somebody stays on your post. Second is the shares, right? It's not the likes, it's not the comments, it's the shares. It's the shares, my friend. I'll do a whole video breaking down why, but I hope in this one you trust me. So with that, understanding that, hey, I also want to get people to share this, every post of mine has to have something in it for the reader, something in it for the viewer that makes them go like, man, exactly. Right? That makes them go like, I want to share this in the group chat, or I want to share this in my story, or I want to share this to my network because that was good. And generally, it's not just having a good story. It's having something, as you see here, some sort of transformation or takeaway, some sort of call to action, right? Where people will start sharing this and saying exactly what I think. Or I said this the other day in one of my meetings, right? I'm saying, because of Serena Williams couldn't be her full self at Wimbledon, but found the freedom to dance without apology at a Black-centered Super Bowl halftime show, just think about how many Black women are still holding back their magic, still dimming their lights, still dancing smaller than they dream. The blueprint is clear. Create the space, center Black joy, step aside, watch the magic happen, right? So there's some transformation there. And it's not cliche. That's another thing you need to remember. Don't give me some cliche, dream big transformation. Like, put some thought into that transformation. But every post has a transformation. So as you can see, my top post, follow the stop, stay, share. Use the first 2 lines and use that photo to get the stop. People are just going like this, or they're on their computer just scrolling, right? You have to get them to stop. How I do that, and it's not the only way to do it, but how I do that is I lean into curiosity a lot. I want the reader to be like, what is Casey saying here, right? Then within the body of the post, and this is generally why my posts tend to be longer, because I want somebody to spend more time on my post. I'm not saying, again, this is the only way. This is just what I do. But in the body, even though I have a pretty long post, each line, each word serves a purpose. It's very easy to read. It's at a 3rd to 4th grade reading level, very easy to digest, because I want to earn the right to get that person to stay now that I've stopped them, right? And then the last S is I want this person to share. Share is one of the most important metrics that signals to the platforms, hey, Casey must have put out a good post. A lot of people are sharing this, and it gets me in front of more people that wouldn't have seen my post, right? Because now people are sharing it. If I can get the share, or the only way I should say I get the share is if I have something, some sort of what I like to call a transformation in it for the reader. It's not just a self-serving post, right? All right. So that is that. Feel free to go look at that post on my LinkedIn. It's still up. You'll just have to scroll all the way back to February. The last one that I'll go through really quick, just so you guys can also see this in practice. This one is about Kevin Hart, 2 million impressions. It said, this is your sign to quit. And Kevin Hart is teaching us firsthand. This is as you can see, this is the first 2 lines you saw paired up with this photo of Kevin Hart at his burger place. Curiosity, my friend, curiosity. Somebody would see this and see that photo and be like, what's happening here, right? Like, what's happening? Why is Kevin Hart with burgers? What is Casey saying? They would still have a question mark, right? A lot of you guys would see this and make this post and be like, Kevin Hart just closed his business, and then try to give me something. But what you just did with that hook right there is that you just gave away the answer. You didn't leave anything for the viewer or the reader to be like, I'm curious about what is being said here. You just gave away the answer, right? And so with my post, again, this is also a little controversial. This is your sign to quit. So that's another one of the C's I lean into here and there. Curiosity, controversy, contradiction, conflict, and there's one more that I'm blanking on right now. I mostly lean into curiosity and controversy. But this is a little controversial. Quitting, this is your sign to quit, right? But I think really it leans more into curiosity because somebody's just curious about what I'm saying next or why I'm saying those things, right? Again, as you can see, my friend, and I actually think my writing was better. Every one, this is easy to read, super easy to read format-wise. Every word serves a purpose. There is no filler words in here, right? So I can get the person to stay. This one is a bit shorter than this one, right? I didn't use all my data points and things like that. This one is a bit shorter than the other one. And then there is a transformation. There is something that that person can take away, right? It's not just about Kevin Hart. I didn't just stop there and tell the story. I then gave leaders or my ICP some sort of takeaway or transformation, where then people would share this and be like, oh my gosh, exactly what I was thinking, or share this with a friend or whatever, right? I embedded that action in there. And so again, guys, you can see the stop, stay, share method in that. And another one of my videos, I'll break this down. And another one was a vertical video. Y'all, LinkedIn is pushing video. Please, please, please test this video. This video I actually made on TikTok first. It did really well on TikTok. If you guys don't know, I don't as much anymore, but I started a lot of my growth in content creation on TikTok. We scaled my page to over 100,000 followers. I'm all in on LinkedIn right now for reasons that I've named in other videos. But please test video. The other thing, the last thing that I'll call out here, y'all, is outside of the stop, stay, share. Another big thing that I do is something I call newsjacking. So you'll see with this Serena Williams post and this Kevin Hart post, I like to look up or understand current events that are going on. And I like to find a unique angle that works for me, works for my ICP or my target audience. And then I come up with some unique angle to talk to about that. So the Super Bowl, for instance, everybody was talking about Kendrick Lamar and the breaking down the stuff. And a lot of those posts are going viral, right? I don't post on the weekend. So by the time I entered the market on a Monday or Tuesday to talk about the Super Bowl, everything had been talked about, right? And also, frankly, me breaking down all the imagery in the Super Bowl and what different things meant, I am not an expert there. That is not my lane. It was very interesting to me, and I read a lot of articles about that. Especially for the people I trusted to break those things down, right? So understand this, understand how the market already perceives you, right? So that wasn't my lane. And so I was like, I probably won't talk about this. I had a lot of thoughts about different ads that I saw, commercials that I saw during the Super Bowl, but I was like, that's not really my lane to talk about this on LinkedIn. But I was in conversation, and I remember having this conversation with a friend. I was talking about Serena, and as I was just having the conversation and having these thoughts, I was like, oh, here's my post right here. Here's my unique angle on this topic that a lot of people are talking about. When I do not have any unique angle or something that would actually serve or provide value to a conversation, I do not say anything. You don't always, this is y'all's problem, you don't always need to be talking about anything. Whenever I bring up newsjacking to somebody, I then just start seeing them talk about every current event. Guys, I talk about the current events that make sense and that I have a unique perspective on or angle over. Same with this Kevin Hart thing, right? This wasn't the biggest talk of the town, but this was something I was reading about and I had a certain perspective over it, right? And a unique angle with it. And so wanted to just call those out as well. Again, y'all, I love doing these little behind the scenes posts. I just do them at the end of my day. So if these are helpful, give me some signals. I'm going to keep doing these for a couple weeks and see where we go from there. But with that, I'll see y'all in the next one.